Okay, well here I am in Birmingham, Hollywood, not
Yes.
Hollywood, but it may as well be, because I'm with two superstars of roller speed skating. I'm with Mr. and Mrs. Eason, so Leo and Pat Eason, who have been in and around the sport for, I would suggest, the best part of 50, 60 years even. So I'll try not to dwell on on the years. But first and foremost, I want to know, well, I know we spoke earlier, Leo, you said you were born in Kent.
Yes,
So-
Gravesend.
Gravesend,
Yeah.
and Pat, you wasn't born in Birmingham.
No, I was born in London.
In London, whereabouts in London?
The other side of John,
Hackney.
I'm sorry, I've just
Right.
forgotten.
Acne.
Acne. So,
No, it wasn't. It
Oh.
wasn't Hackney. So
right, that's
with
all
the
right.
tape.
That's all right. Well, the thing is that how did you manage to come to Birmingham? That's how I want to know.
Myself, my father worked at the airport in Gravesend, and the day war broke out, we were evacuated. To Stoke-on-Trent actually. We were evacuated to Stoke-on-Trent, and the family moved up to Birmingham, Elmdon Airport. He wasn't in the Air Force, he was a mechanic, and he used to work on the planes, and we never went back. And we just moved from Elmdon to here, and that's it, we never moved.
And how did you manage to come here, Pat?
It was Ealing, not far from Shepherd's
I know
Bush.
Ealing very well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I
yeah,
think so anyway.
yeah.
Just forgotten. My parents moved up here when my father was a silversmith,
Right.
and he used to make some lovely things, and he was out of work and there was some work going in Birmingham. So, and they were true Cockneys,
Bow Bells.
yeah, but
Oh, you know your history then?
I know a bit.
and I was only 5.
Right. So Birmingham's been your home then for the best part of 70 odd years
Yeah.
then, really.
Yes.
So and how did you get into skating?
I went, left work. John, I'm sorry, it's all going wrong for you.
Yes?
Well-
No.
I
Sorry.
lived on the Stratford Road,
Yeah.
which was next door but one to Walford Road,
Yeah, I
which
know
is
it.
it's just walking around the corner
Yeah.
to the skating rink.
Yeah.
And we used to go skating, probably 5-6 days a week,
Yeah.
and that's where I met Pat, skating. you know.
Right.
So we met her there, skating,
Yeah.
and we just got on pretty well together,
Yeah.
and in the end, we got married.
Yeah. I know. But who was in the Birmingham club first out of you, pair?
Leo.
Leo.
Yeah.
Right.
But I got a job
Yeah.
as a telegraphist,
Right.
and we all decided to go skating. So I went with some friends from work
Right.
to the embassy,
Yeah.
and at a later stage that was how I met Leo. And he was in the Birmingham club, and they persuaded me to join. So I joined, but I didn't like speed skating,
Really.
and I just liked skating and having fun.
You was quite. You was quite old in relative terms then to start speed. If you were working,
Yeah.
presumably, like when you started skating, you was relatively old compared to some of the. So I always think about
Yeah,
the youngsters these
Well,
days.
Leo's a year younger than me.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
But it was just Bonnie Bennett.
I've
and
heard the
me.
name.
I
Yeah.
dropped out of the club. I joined the club, but I dropped out of it for about a year.
Yeah.
Not skating, but just the club training. And Leo and Bonnie Bennett persuaded me to start back again. So I
Right.
started back again, and I liked it then,
Yeah.
and never stopped.
So you were speed skating at the time as well, yeah. So how old would you have been then, roughly?
About 19.
Really?
No, I wasn't 20, I was younger than that.
Right.
Because in 1950, 1953.
Mhm.
I was 21 and it was 2 or 3 years before that.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. About 19 then.
mm,
Now I've got to ask, right? I've got to ask this question because I mean I've known. I mean, you think about how long I've known you. I'm 44, right? And like I'll be 45 next birthday, and I would suggest that I've probably known you for those 44 years. You know, because my dad's been, you know, my dad was the British champion the year I was born. So, you know, so he was skating. So, and obviously
he
you've been, yeah.
British champion at the half mile at the Mecca.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. In the March, and I was born in July. So really, I've known you for 40 years.
Mm.
You know, now I've only ever known you as Pat and Leo Eason. You know, Pat and Leo Eason, right? Now I come across something the other day, and I know we spoke about this earlier. And when I was looking at all the records, obviously before you made it was Pat Harris, but they put you down in some of the records as BPM Harris.
Mm.
So what's the BPM then?
Well, the B stands for Beth or better,
Yeah,
but I've never used it.
I never knew until
No,
yeah,
no.
yeah. So and the M is
Margaret.
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 Now I for some reason I knew Leo Eason, and I know that it's well you can tell us what's the Leo Eason then.
Leo, Alan, Herman Eason.
I bet that went down well with the war, didn't it?
It still goes well with the club, actually.
Yeah, really.
They still call me a German.
Yeah.
Yeah. They still never go at me.
Oh, well, where did Herman come from?
Well, my father was a gymnastic, and the people that he used to perform with was one of them. And if he'd had his way, my name would have been Herman Goring.
Herman Goring.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yes,
Yeah.
Herman Goring. But my mum wouldn't stand for it.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yes.
And my mum was a strong Catholic.
Yeah.
And that's where I got my name Leo from.
Right.
Because there was a Pope Leo.
Right. So it's not Leonard. It's just Leo.
L-E-O,
Yeah.
Leo.
Leo. Yeah.
My
Right.
father's name is Leonard.
Right. Oh, okay.
And my
Okay.
brother's name is Leonard.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it is Leo. It is actually Leo.
yeah.
Oh, right.
But say, my mum wouldn't stand before me being Herman Goring.
I bet you're glad you never had that one. So when you both like with the Birmingham club, then who coached you in the early days? Who was the coach of the club?
Well,
Or
we
was the
done
one, or-
more or less coached ourselves, actually.
Really? Yeah.
I don't think we had a trainer such as.
No, we didn't.
We didn't have a trainer.
Right.
We just done our own thing.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
They selected, possibly at the AGM, they selected a captain,
Right.
and he
And he used to just say, "Well, do 5 laps, 10 laps,
Right.
100 laps," and that was it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we had no real coaching.
So what was training like in them days? Was it every night, or was it once or twice a week, or what? And did you do anything else? Or
Well,
was
it
it
used
just
to be
skate?
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning,
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon if you wanted to do the dance
Okay.
and the artistic,
Yeah. Yeah.
because we were one club.
Yeah.
And there was one night, wasn't there?
Two
Tuesday or
nights.
Wednesday.
Two nights, Friday night,
Yeah.
because if we were racing on a Saturday,
Right.
some of them didn't train on a
On
Friday.
Friday.
So
And was most racing on Saturday in them days?
Saturday
Every
or Sunday.
Saturday.
Really?
Never on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Never on the Sunday.
And there was lots of, and like again looking back through the record books, there was a lot of skaters because people moan these days that there's only 1 or 2 races on a weekend. If you have a Sunday race now, there's 1 or 2 races, and they say, well, we want more racing. But I suppose you only ever entered 1 race on a Saturday, but there was lots of entries. You were saying earlier, 147 entries.
Yes.
Well, that must have took a while to get through all them heats.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to have, I don't think there were that many, quite that many, but they used to have quarterfinals, quarterfinals and semi-finals.
Was the semi-finals for like the 5 mile? And
Yes.
Yes,
really,
I
so you
think
don't,
so.
you'd still do a heater semi and a final?
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
It was quite
Because
a...
there was that many people there.
because you got to get through,
Yeah,
you know, to
Yeah.
in the final.
right,
And that used to be at places like Alexandra Palace.
yeah,
I mean, I'm going
And
back
the
a little bit
embassy.
now. That when we used to go to the embassy,
yeah.
you know, the queue to get in
Yeah.
the drink was massive.
Yeah,
It was absolutely
Just
massive.
go all the way around the
Really?
embassy.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
absolutely massive.
Really?
And because we were well known, established as skaters,
yeah.
we could go in through the side door.
Oh, really?
So we never had to queue.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's okay. Ah, so privileged, eh?
And funny enough, the same thing happened to Alexander Palace.
Yeah,
They used to have a morning session for everybody,
yeah,
and anybody that entered a racing or anything had to wait till everybody come out.
right.
But the manager,
Yeah.
when I become world champion,
Yeah.
he gave us a complimentary ticket.
Oh, right, okay.
Mr.
Yeah.
And-
Gomez, his name.
Yeah.
And all the speed skaters were queuing to go up in, and we used to just walk through and go straight through. They go,
Really?
I tell you that. Yes.
So,
I've still got the pass somewhere.
well, so can you remember your first race? I mean, I know. I mean, I don't know as I can remember my first race, but can you?
Um,
I can't really remember mine.
Do you? Okay, here's a question. Put it differently. Can you remember a race that you entered and suddenly thought, actually, I'm not too bad at this? Was there a race? Because I can remember. I remember a race for me that I was all right, but then there was a race that just suddenly just clicked, and I remember. Actually,
Yeah.
I was, you know.
No, it never really bothered me actually.
I don't think
Yeah.
we bothered about that.
And
Really?
you know, funny enough, the family had a pet shop on Stratford Road,
Right.
and I used to have to work Saturday mornings,
Yeah.
Saturday afternoons,
Yeah.
so I couldn't go to any races.
Really?
And it wasn't until I packed up the job,
Yeah.
and it was my third race.
Yeah.
I won the Midland Counties.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
so it was as quick as that, really?
Yeah,
then?
third race, I won the Midland Counties.
Right. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I
So,
think,
what-
John, it was more that we enjoyed skating
yeah,
and we just used to enter
yeah,
rather than think that, you know, it didn't
Yeah.
seem to come into it, that we were good at it.
it was just,
Yeah, except that when I first came back into skating after being out of the training,
yeah,
some of the ladies and the men were taking the records,
right,
and I just took one of the records
really.
as soon as that, you know.
Yeah.
So,
So,
I'm sorry, you were going to say.
no, I was just thinking, because, like you were saying, is that very quickly, and certainly for yourself, Pat, is that you was getting called up for the British team. I mean, I think you got called up for the British team before Leo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, and what year was that?
53.
53? Yeah?
Mm.
So, what was that like to, how did that come about, by the way? Was there trials, or did they just select,
Yes,
or
there
what?
were trials down in London
Yeah.
on the
And we used to have to go for 6 weekends on the trot
Right.
for trials.
and there's photographs somewhere.
Yeah,
It was Pat Kirkham and I
yeah,
and Marlene, I think it was, Marlene Worrell.
yeah.
And we were sitting on the curb, and you see the look of us, we were exhausted because
Really?
we'd never done road skating before.
Yeah, it was all
It was
on
And
Moorgate,
it was
wasn't it?
all, yes,
Yeah.
Moorgate.
Moorgate, yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, Moorgate at the time was all bomb buildings.
Yeah, I've seen some
Yeah.
photos. They used to use it quite often, I believe, for
Yeah.
trials. Yeah.
Yes.
And I was selected, Pat was selected, Marlene and Doreen.
Mm.
They were the four of us who were selected. But I wasn't quite on form,
Right.
and they took me to Barcelona, I think it was.
In 50.
No,
53?
Venice.
Venice,
And it was on
53,
the
yeah.
road,
Yeah.
53. It was on the road. And they said that if in case I sort of got better, or recovered my form, they would take me, because it's normally only 3 ladies, and they would take me, and if anything happened, I could skate. I could race.
I mean, at
but you
Moorgates.
didn't race in 53.
No, but I was there.
At
But you was
Moorgates.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't invited to the trials.
Yeah,
I wasn't good enough.
Well, in 53.
Yeah.
You made up for it later. So in actual fact then, so although you did actually go in 53 and you never
Well, I
skated.
got the badge.
Yeah, you got the bat. Yeah, so you travelled with the team then. So you
Yeah.
went to Venice.
Yes.
So and then, but you did make the team again. You did skate then the following year in Bari.
Yes, they selected us again. Like we had trials again, but it was a track.
Right.
So I was a better track skater than I
Ah.
was a road skater. And there was Patty Kirkham, Joan Rawlins, and myself
Yeah.
at Bari.
At Bari. Yeah.
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 And Joan had a third.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she was, she and I were like that the year before,
Right.
but she dropped out because she was getting married the week after.
Ah, right.
So she didn't go, but they took me and I got my badge, and I was there to skate if anything
If anything
happened.
happened. Yeah. Well, in Bari, I mean, I've got the record so that you come fourth in the 5,000. Yeah. And see with Joan and like Joan Rawlins got third, and like it's funny because like these days, you know, people think about Leo and John Foley and Mick McGough and Fry and yourself, but Joan Rawlins is not a name that people readily remember.
Yeah.
And yet there she was, bronze medal in the World Championships in 1954.
Yes. She skated for the Broadway Club,
Right.
and she was married to Ken, who
Yeah.
was in the team.
Right.
He was in the team at some stage.
Ken Rawlins, of course. Yeah. So, so moving on a couple of years, and so Leo in 1956. Here we go. Right, you won your first British Championship, which was a gold in the mile at the Embassy. Second was Graham Stead, and third Les Woodley. Now, do you remember the race?
Not the
Not
mile.
really, no.
Not the mile, I don't think.
No,
Not in
not really.
56.
Ah, I got it as 56 as the
Oh.
mile. But I mean, you know, I could be wrong. But
No, I
unless
can't
it was the 57 season, I don't know, because it was October to October, wasn't it, the season? So you don't remember the. You said a championship you do remember?
The one
British Championship. We'll go on to the big one later.
Sorry,
Well, British Championship I'm talking about. We'll talk about the big one later.
which big one?
Yeah, the World Championship.
No.
Yeah, that's it, wasn't it?
No, one of my best ones actually was the 5 mile British Championship,
Uh-huh.
Alexander Palace.
Right.
I never went to the front at all in the final,
Yeah.
and when we come out for the last bend, Les Woodley was in lead,
Yeah.
right? He was in lead, and Ricky May was behind him,
Yeah.
and he stepped over one side to let Ricky May through, and my foot went, and I won that by a foot, and that was the only time that I ever went to the front, and I won it by a foot.
Really.
Yeah.
So in them days, you talk about Ricky May and Les Woodley. I know that they were in the Birmingham club in the mid '50s, and certainly Les. So, but did you used to race as a team then, or was there?
No,
it was still every man for himself, was it?
At that time, they were both in the Midland club.
At that when you won the
Yeah.
5 mile. Yeah.
And Les actually just stepped to one side, let
Yeah.
Ricky May come
Yeah.
through,
Yeah.
and I was there in front of him.
Yeah.
And the only other time, a 5 mile again,
Yeah.
was I never used to go to the front.
Right.
I done all my training at the front,
Right.
but when it come to racing, I was a chief waiter. I just sat at the back, and the 5 mile British Championship at the Palace again.
Yeah.
I jumped into the lead at 22 laps to go.
Yeah.
Kelly and Jennings
Yeah.
was behind me, and I had a 5 yard lead, and they just couldn't make it up.
Really?
And I won that one.
Yeah.
And those were two that I reckon were one of my best races.
Really? So because I think I'm right in saying you won 6 British titles, and although you won, I think you won the half mile and the mile, but you you won more 5 miles than you did the others.
Yes.
Do you think of yourself as a distance skater than a sprinter?
No, I believe I was a good sprinter,
Yeah, yeah.
but at those times, a lot of it was on track, small tracks, Paris and Leicester, and your best skater was Les Woodley, and he got the start every time.
Yeah.
He just got the start, and I wasn't a good starter.
Right.
If I'd have got the start, I could have won a lot more races.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a very good starter.
Sounds like you needed
Quite
to work.
often.
You should have
quite
worked harder at your starts, Leo.
Quite often, I used to jump the gun.
Right.
Quite often, I jumped the gun.
So what about yourself, Pat? Where would you class yourself? Was you a sprinter? Was you a distance skater?
Both.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, that was why I was able to do the world record. And in the world championships, we used to have to skate 10,000 metres,
Yes,
which
yeah.
was unheard of
Yeah,
for
yeah.
women to be
Yeah.
able to do that distance.
yeah.
But I think, you know, I could say that I was good both on a sprint
Yeah.
and on a distance.
Well, in 1956, you both made the team together, didn't you? Was you married by then? When did
We
you
got,
did you
they
get
said it was our honeymoon.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, so you got married in 56, did you?
Yes. yes.
Right, okay, yeah. So 56, so Barcelona, what a cracking honeymoon then. So
Yes, it was. We got married in the August, and
Yeah.
the championships I think was September
October.
or October.
Yeah, yeah.
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 So it was nice because where we were, it was a nice track.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. So that was your first time together in the national team.
Yeah.
Right. So, and you was the only lady there,
Yes.
and you skated in all 3 events.
Yeah.
And got medals in every single one.
Yes.
What do you remember of those events?
I remember I liked to skate from the front,
Yeah.
and in the distance races I was just sort of doing this because the Italians were kept on grabbing me, and I
Right.
was going like this
Yeah.
and pointing, so the officials would see what was happening,
Yeah.
that it was Alberta
Vianello.
Ianella.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she had, I suppose it had been said that they were her championships because she was a
Right.
fantastic skater.
Did she win all 3 that year? Is that when she won? Oh no, she did win all 3 or some stuff.
Yeah, I
but,
think so.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
can't quite remember.
So, but yeah. So you had 2 bronze and a silver.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, but so really, I mean, if you're the only British girl and against a strong Italian team, and I imagine in Barcelona the Spaniards were quite hot as well. But you know, so that's quite a good achievement really to get in the
Yes.
medals as just a lone skater.
yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you remember of the championships, Lee? I remember you saying that you fell in one race in Barcelona.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
Well, about 8 laps ago, I was trying to pass the Italian, and he had his hands all over me. And on the final straight, as we were going up the finishing straight, I went right up the outside, and I actually was in the lead, but I kicked one of these tubs, and I went sideways. You know, so that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the one that got away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from yourself, Pat, who was the greatest skater you think you came up against?
Me and Ella, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
She was Italian and she was only young
Really.
as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. I know she was in the Guinness Book of Records for a long time as
Yes.
the most number of championships.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the Italians actually used to dominate all the skating.
Yeah. See.
They all the skating.
Yeah.
Then the Lambrechts come in,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
took over.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Josette Lambrechts won one of them.
In
56 in Barcelona.
No, I don't think so.
No, I thought she won the
She
5,000.
wasn't old enough.
Was she not?
Don't think so.
Oh right, I
You
thought
know,
it was.
funny
Oh no,
enough, funny enough,
Syracuse.
when I
it
won
was
my
Syracuse.
world
That's
championship
my
Yeah.
fault.
in Nantes,
Yeah.
Annie Lambrex
Was underage.
was underage,
Oh, really?
but she was only 15,
Yeah.
but she did win a world championship,
She raced in '63 this year, yeah.
and they gave it to her,
Right, I didn't know that.
and she was underage.
Right, I didn't know.
Yes.
I didn't know. I didn't know that. Yeah. So, who was the greatest skater you came up against internationally?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, probably Cavallini, I think.
Really? Yeah.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think he was the main man? Was he Cavallini?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So
In our days, he was.
right. So what was the equipment like back then? I mean, because like you see the racing now, they've got these big, massive wheels and inline skates, obviously. But
Going back to wheels, I was the first skater to skate on plastic wheels in a world championship.
really,
Did you know that?
no, I didn't know that. No.
And also
That was in
the-
Wetron.
Right.
They were
16.
there. Oh, I gave you a wheel actually. A
The Hudora. Yeah.
And I was the first one ever
Ah.
in a world championship to skate on plastics.
What about the New Zealand wheels?
They were,
And then you come
The
back.
Bostik.
well,
the Bostik. from
again,
so
I
remember
was the
that
first
story as a
one in
kid,
England.
Yeah.
In England,
Yeah.
to skate on Bostics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is that something you? Because I know you went to New Zealand, didn't you, and did some
Right.
exhibitions.
And I brought some wheels back with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we went to, it's gone again.
All right.
Sorry, John.
Sorry.
The New Zealand people Federation started writing to us,
Yeah.
and they said that they were going to send a team manager and a skater over here for 12 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they wanted us to join our club and stay with us and sort of train. And they did this, and it was Mervyn Wybrot and Ian Hughes.
Mhm.
And Ian Hughes won the handicap trophy at the embassy, the Davis Cup.
Yeah.
And he did a fantastic time. And he went home with the trophy. We let him take the trophy back to New Zealand. But when Mervyn, he came with Ian, and they trained with us, and Leo trained them. And we went to the Worlds, and they were entered as well under New Zealand.
Yeah.
And because we were withdrawn,
Yeah. I
team
want to talk
was
about that.
withdrawn.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
he, Mervyn, I'm not saying he wouldn't have won,
Mm.
but he won.
Yeah.
I think it was the 20,000
20,000.
meters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they went home after that,
Yeah.
a champion,
Yeah. World champion. Yeah.
And they invited Leo to
Yeah.
go to New Zealand
Yeah.
and tour for almost 3 months.
Right.
But it meant him giving up his job and everything, and he didn't accept the first time they invited him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Danny Kelly went.
Yes, I remember Danny Kelly going. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he went. He was asked after Leo,
Right.
and then when the next time, because Leo had done such a lot for them, they invited Leo again, and he accepted. And then a week after he accepted, a telegram came asking me to go as well.
Oh, right.
So we had a fantastic time.
Oh, so you went as well. Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay. So you
Yeah.
didn't go to. Did you travel together?
Yes.
Oh, you
yes,
went together.
we
Yeah.
went
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
and while we were over there, we actually racing time. We were racing for 6 weeks
Yeah.
on the trot.
Yeah.
We raced in the afternoon
Yeah.
and we raced at night.
Yeah.
Right.
And we toured all over the
Over
islands.
those 6 weeks, I only lost 2 races.
Really.
Yes,
But what I mentioned to you
and
is a long
and
story.
they were both the same people that I trained.
Oh, back home.
Yes.
Mervyn and
And Ian.
Ian.
yeah.
Why I brought the subject into this
Yeah.
was because of the wheels, the Bostik wheels.
Yeah,
that was
of
how the
course.
Bostik wheels
And that's how it came
into
about.
being. Yeah.
Yeah.
Long story, but
No, I
That's what
remember that
happened.
story actually. As a kid, I remember that you brought the Bostik wheels back to the UK and said, this is what
Yeah,
we're.
well, we made a mistake actually. I was skating with Ricky May in a 2-man relay
Yeah.
because he joined our club.
Right.
and, at
Again.
Mecca,
Right.
and I had the Bostic wheels on.
Yeah.
He had the ordinary plastic,
Uh-huh.
and I was just flying.
Really?
They couldn't touch us.
Really?
And about 2 weeks afterwards, I think there was a half-mile British Championship, and everybody had been sticking
yeah.
Bostic on the wheels.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
funny enough, going back to equipment, I was the first British skater
Yeah.
to have quick release.
Oh, the
Wheels.
clips. Yeah. Really?
And to make them.
We went to
Right.
Insel, we were on holiday,
Yeah.
and the Italians were training,
Yeah.
and all of them had quick release wheels on.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
little clips.
The clips on the side. Yeah.
And when I
yeah.
come back, I'd made my own.
Right.
Yeah. And then afterwards, Tony Goodell
Yeah.
started
yeah.
manufacturing them
Right. Okay.
and selling them.
Right.
Yeah, those were the first time anybody had quick release.
So, you know, going back to like 1958, Finale Ligure. We spoke about Finale Ligure earlier, and I know you was talking about Danny Kelly and the fact that he got a couple of medals in Finale Ligure.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and I know he was a strong skater. I'd never seen any photos of that place up until today. But the fact that Danny got medals in his first outing. I think it was the first time he'd skated for Britain, and yet you'd been in the team a couple of years. You hadn't got a medal. Was you excited for him? Was you a bit disappointed that you hadn't? Was you know what I mean? Was there any? Can you see what I'm saying? Is that like, how did you feel about Danny getting their medals in Finale Ligure and you still knocking on the door trying to get there?
He did.
It
he
never
has-
bothered me actually. Never bothered me at all.
Really? Yeah.
I don't grudge anybody.
No,
anything,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. I suppose I was saying, was it a bit of jealousy? You know what I mean? Because
No.
yeah,
no.
you're
He
pleased for the
seemed to come into it.
Yeah.
We just skated for the fun of it.
yeah,
It was more fun than sort of anything, even though we trained hard,
yeah.
all of us,
Well, the year before there was a World Championships in Palermo, and Britain didn't send a team.
No,
Yeah,
it was a shame.
yeah. I think they said we hadn't got suitable circuits or something.
That's right.
So there's one missed there.
Mm.
So let's move on then to 1960, because
Want the lighter?
I tell you what. Yeah, let's just pause that a second. Got some light. You look a lot healthier.
Right. A cup of tea.
Yeah, carry on. Yeah, 1960. We're talking 1960, because 1960 was a big year really for British speed skating because of the Wetrin incident. Yeah, and I know the team went. And was it Bertie Lamb was the manager?
Yes,
Yeah.
it would be.
Yeah. So, but I know in 1960, you'd already got, Kelly had got a silver medal, and I think Barbara Woodley got a bronze medal in the distances. But then it was the 5,000 metres, and in the 5,000 metres, you talked me through it. This is the one where you got disqualified. What actually happened?
Declassified.
Declassified to last place, wasn't it? Is how it was put.
Well, you come down to the last bend,
Yeah.
and as we went to the last bend, to go up the bit of a hill to the finishing straight,
Yeah.
the Italian was in front. The Frenchman went round the outside of him.
Mm-hmm.
The Italian moved over to the Frenchman,
Yeah.
and as he moved over, I went straight up the inside, and he come back in on me, and I put my foot over a white line,
Mm-hmm.
and I got declassified because an Italian judge was on that corner.
Right. So you crossed the finishing line first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at that time, when you crossed the line, did you firmly believe you was a world champion, or did you think, I'll put my foot over the line?
I just believed that I won.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. There was no doubt in your mind that you was the world champion.
Well, I was over
Yeah.
the line first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And funny enough, there was a lot of supporters there, and over the finishing line there was how could you put it? The seats were boarded all the way along,
Yeah.
and they were jumping up and down. They smashed all the seats.
Oh really?
Supported,
In fact,
and
it was
there was quite a
pretty
few
hairy.
of our
Really?
judges.
Yeah.
There's quite a few of
Yeah.
our judges there.
Yeah.
The English
Yeah.
judges were
Yeah.
on the
And the
watching.
argument went on quite long. And Bobby Halford,
Yeah.
this is what all happened when we got. Henry Crystal decided that pulled the team out.
Was it Henry Crystal who pulled the team, or Bertie Lamb?
Henry Crystal.
Henry Crystal, I think.
Henry Crystal.
Bertie Lamb.
Okay.
Henry Crystal.
Yeah.
The lap scorer, it was 2 laps,
Yeah.
and he mixed them up.
Right.
And when there was 3 laps, he mixed them up.
Right.
Bobby Halford had to go at him, and this lap scorer says, "What do you know about skating?" And Bobby Halford went, and he got all his cards,
Oh,
and a
yeah.
big string of them like that.
He's,
He said like that.
He's judge's
And
guy,
I think Bobby Halford was going to have a go at him.
Yeah, well, he would. He was a docker. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
docker,
And
yeah.
because it was, I mean, I was unbeaten
Yeah.
through the. It was 1,000 metres.
The
I was
knockouts,
unbeaten
yeah.
at the time,
Yeah.
and it was Barbara Woodley.
Yeah.
She was skating against the Germans
Yeah.
when he mucked the laps up.
Yeah.
Barbara Woodley won,
Two by
right.
2.
Yeah.
and they wanted a rerun.
Yeah.
And Barbara Woodley says, "No, I'm not rerunning." The German said, "We want a rerun,"
Right.
and Barbara said, "I'm not." So, and that's where the argument stopped. And Henry Crystal pulled the team out.
That was the final straw.
Oh, so in actual fact then, so your incident had happened, but then there was still the 1,000 metres knockouts going on,
yeah.
and then it was during that competition that they said enough's enough.
Yeah, it was the
They
1,000
tried
metres.
to do it before with Leo's, but it
Yeah.
didn't work.
Right.
So they persuaded Henry not to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But say, in my first heat, I had the Belgian skater, Tymons, Wijnen,
Weiner. Yeah.
and he was good,
Yeah.
and I knew I couldn't beat him,
Yeah.
so I went out for a fastest time,
Right.
but I dropped him off.
Right.
Yeah, I dropped him off.
Yeah. So you knew he was on song then. Yeah.
Yeah, I was, you know.
So was there any? I mean, looking back on it, I can understand the protest and the fact that it was, it was bad and the judging was bad. Was it the right thing to do to withdraw the team?
I
No,
don't think so.
no, definitely not.
Really?
No.
That's
Well,
interesting.
Definitely
the
not.
English were skating so well,
Yeah.
and this was what we think was upsetting the
Yeah.
Italians
Yeah.
and other skaters, the other countries that were there, but mainly the Italians.
So did you ever say in it or not, or was it Henry or Roberto,
No,
whoever it was?
it
Just
was
that's it.
Henry.
And funny enough, the race that I actually won,
Yeah.
Mervyn Wybrot
Yeah.
was 4th over the line.
Right. That's right.
So
yeah.
with me being disqualified,
You
he
got
got
the
third place,
And
and he wasn't.
Yeah.
They didn't give it
They had
to
to
him
argue
to-
about it, that he
Oh,
was
really?
third,
Yes.
They had to
Ah,
argue
okay.
that he was third over the line.
I've seen in an old roller skating magazine about, because they stand on the rostrum and they're saying actually this guy finished here and this guy finished here.
Yeah.
So did they change the medals round afterwards? Did they? Or did
Oh, they give him the third medal.
But did they award it to him on the rostrum or did they give it to him later?
No, they awarded it him on the rostrum.
Ah, right, okay.
No, because the argument was going on.
Right.
And actually, on the photograph that you've seen,
Yeah,
where it was happening on the bend, it was tucked right behind me.
right. Yeah,
But
yeah.
you could only see his legs.
Right, yeah.
But he went over 4th.
Fourth, yeah, of course.
But
you
he was
got
classified as 3rd.
Yeah,
He wasn't even in the race.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So, and that's really interesting. The fact that you guys are saying that, in hindsight, the team shouldn't have been withdrawn. So, yeah.
I don't think there was anybody
I don't
Really?
think any team should be withdrawn from any championship. Don't matter what happens.
Yeah. That's an interesting.
Because you
I mean, I'm
never
with
know
you.
what's going to happen
Yeah.
afterwards.
Well, what's unfortunate is the fact that 12 months later, in 1961, there was 2 World Championships, and we still didn't send a team because of, I don't know, stiff upper lip or British stiff upper. Because again.
The officials in those days on the roller speed committee, they were very, very firm.
Yeah.
Very, very old-fashioned, I suppose.
Well, this is what I've got from the actual. This is the annual report. I'll read out to you what it said in the annual report for 1961. So you've got the track in June in Voltrega in Italy, and then on the road in August in Gujan-Mestras, France. So there's 2 lots of World Championships
Leo
this year.
skated there in a B international.
Yeah. Well, I raced there in Goujon Mistress. It's 2 international events in roller speed skating took place during the past season, for which no British skaters were entered, in substantiation of the Roller Speed Committee's view, strongly held, of the deficiencies in the organisation of the World Championships held on road in Belgium in 1960, and as referred to in the previous year's report. Now, that just says to me that we cut off our nose to spite our face. Is that we didn't send a team in 61, in protest, and the World Championships went ahead. And what protest? Who was going to? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So again, another opportunity gone begging.
Yes.
So, 1962, Venice.
It was a fantastic track, and in training at the start, I fell on a chip,
Right.
chip of
What?
granite or something. I don't
Oh,
know.
a chip, not a chip, not a potato chip.
Sorry, no.
Right.
But on the track,
Yeah.
and I damaged my leg,
Right. Okay.
the knee, and of course I couldn't skate. I was still racing, and I still
Yeah.
raced. But I think we had placings like 4th or 5th. There was Barb Woodley,
Yeah.
Chloe Ronaldson,
Chloe got silver in the
Yeah.
500s. Yeah. Yeah.
and me,
Yeah.
and Pat Barnett. I think.
That's right,
I think
yeah.
the 4 of us were there.
Well,
We'd never skated on a bank track in our lives.
and is that what it was? A bank? Was it a
Bank
bank
track.
track? Was it in Venice?
Yeah, well,
oh, was it?
We
Oh.
called it a bank track.
It was in Lido, wasn't it? Yeah, on the
It was
island.
a
Yes,
terrazzo
yes.
floor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you've got 1962 rather. That's Chloe's first time out for an international. Now, you and Chloe, you like won quite a lot of your British Championships and were still win. But I mean, Chloe come along, and to be fair, that she was quite a dominant force in domestically. I mean, you can't say about she 37 or whatever it is British Championships. That's quite a feat, really. So there must have been some great rivalry between you and Chloe.
I think the
The
biggest thing was that Chloe, again, got a better start than anybody.
I think that she told me at one stage that Johnny Ellis
Yeah, from
From the
South
Brixton.
London and Brixton, yeah,
Brixton, that he used to get her in to stand on a start
yeah,
in a doorway, like an exit door,
yeah,
and he made her practice time and time and time again,
yeah,
and she was to watch me, how I started,
right,
and it was to improve her start better than mine.
yeah,
So
and it worked.
there must have been something there. I don't-
Yeah, but she must have been a great skater to have come up against, though, as well.
Well, going back to it,
She used to get the start,
Yeah,
and then you got to catch
sure,
her,
yeah,
and then perform.
yeah,
But of course, and because she used to stand up a lot of the time after she got the start and run away,
yeah,
we
yeah.
used to run on our toes. Well, I did. I don't
Yeah.
know. Can't remember now, but
she was a Brixton skater. Did you know that?
I didn't know she was
She's
Brixton,
been
but I
in
thought she
every
was
She was
Broadway,
single
really.
brought
club.
up. She was brought up in Brixton.
Right,
Now Brixton
Margate.
rink was a very hard rink to skate.
it's a big ring.
It
Round.
was square, and you had to skate round
just a
and
big
round
circle.
and round.
I
And
won
she
the
was
the
favourite.
George French.
She was a favourite to win the half mile bridge championship.
Yeah,
Pat beat her.
and half mile. Yes,
On
Oh,
their
yes,
own track.
I've beaten her
On their
on
own
the
track.
yeah,
MC
yeah,
as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
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 Yeah, oh, I mean, I see the record. Like I said, I know that you've been there. I think you beat her on Herne Bay as well. I think, but
Yeah.
but
Of course
it's
them are.
yeah, but like I said, is that
She came off with her finger all bloodied.
oh really? What did she do?
Don't
Nothing.
know,
Oh,
banged it
oh.
against the wall or something.
But as I say, where Chloe was, she was the same as Les Woodley.
Yeah,
She had a good start,
yeah,
and on these small tracks,
yes,
that once you've got the start,
yeah,
and I'm not saying anything, but you try and play this Chloe.
yeah.
Very strong.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think the other thing is that you got to look on it and say that British skating was good. Not only like you got Chloe 37. You got Chloe who's got 37 national titles, but also a medalist at Worlds and Europeans. Chloe, and you're also battling with her and winning medals. It must have been a real golden era for British skating. Because really, I mean, I know later on people talk about the McGough, Fry, Mullane, Feetham, 4 skaters in the 70s, and I think collectively they were a good team. But back in the 50s and 60s, we also had a fantastic nucleus of skaters like yourselves, like Danny Kelly and Ricky Mays. Long before really Folly and Sharman and people like that even. So like I said, it was a real good time.
Yes, we had there was a lot of women.
Right.
There were an awful lot of women from different clubs.
Right.
And because 2 of the skaters from Bradford, the women, Sheila Gardner was a dance skater, and she won the ladies' dance. I don't know what it was called, but she won the title for the British Championship on artistic, and so did Pauline Hoyle.
Right. Oh yeah.
And Pauline Hoyle and they were both speed skaters as well for Bradford.
Right.
So you don't very often get that sort of thing.
No.
Going back to the records.
Yes. Yeah.
5 more British Championships.
Yeah.
Graham Stead won it.
Yes. Yeah.
How did he win it?
You tell me.
Well, I double tracked
Right.
everybody out,
Yeah.
and I even got the black flag.
Oh right.
I finished second over the line.
Yeah.
I got the black flag.
Well, that's a suspension, isn't it? The black flag.
I suppose
Nothing.
it is,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Really.
I got nothing. But I double tracked the Graham. Graham win that.
To win the 5 mile.
Yeah.
Well, he came past and went, and Leo just didn't go with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they said that he double tracked, so we don't really know
Right.
the truth of the matter.
Right. Well, okay. So now let's move on to 1963. Again, another big year. Yeah, for British speed skating. And 63 was the first time since before the war that Great Britain had, and it's been the only time really, that Great Britain had 2 world champions at the same event. Now,
What about
we hadn't had, these were our, since before the war we hadn't had any world champions. Wilkinson and Ross and Cooper were all before the war. So in actual fact, Leo and Danny were the first world champions since the war.
since the war?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 1963. Before we come on to your world title, Leo, how come you wasn't in the team?
I was ill.
Was you?
I was born a cripple,
Right.
and I've had an awful lot of illness all my life.
Right.
I've struggled against
Okay.
and had to fight, and I just wasn't selected because I was
Not very well. And because you wasn't then for a couple of years, and is that
That's
all
right.
related?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Health
I wasn't sure.
problems.
Health problems.
Yeah.
Well, again, that's unfortunate.
Yes.
So.
The one I regret not going to was not being able to go to was, I think it was called Syracuse.
Syracuse 65.
Yeah, it was a track.
Yeah, that's right. The bank track.
And
Yeah.
I was really sort of hoping I'd get selected for that.
Never.
No.
So, well, we'll come back onto yours, but because I know you made a resurgence, but 1963 for you, Leo, was a really good year, I'd say.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me about the championships.
In what way?
Well, you tell me. Well, how did it all start? I mean, like, 'cause I know about. I know you win in the 10,000, but had you got medals before that? Because in '63,
yes, the 5,000
the
metres.
5,000, you were second in that.
It was a market building,
Yeah.
a big square,
Yeah.
and you couldn't see. You could only see the finishing straight. You couldn't see round the back,
Right.
the sides, or anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
You couldn't see anything. If you stood on the finish, all you could see was the finishing straight.
Yeah.
It was quite a long finishing straight.
Yeah.
And I come out of the bend at the 5,000 metres second,
Yes.
and I finished second.
Right. Yeah.
And then the next one was the 10,000 metres,
Yeah.
and I managed to come out of that first,
Yeah.
and nobody could live with me.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you win by a big margin?
Yes, quite a big margin.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it like to cross the line first and think I'm world champion?
Quite exciting, actually.
Was it?
Quite exciting.
Can you remember it? Can you actually remember the feeling?
Yeah.
Can you really? Yeah.
Yeah,
You remember? Yeah. And I bet it was a lot. Was you there, Pat, watching?
Yes, we went.
You went to see, yeah. So you was quite excited as well then.
Yes, there was Basil Galway was there from New Zealand.
Right.
He'd come over to
Mhm.
England and
Yeah.
stayed over here a while. And he was there in the team as well, so and
Yeah.
there were some of the others, club members,
Yeah.
and they travelled over. But I travelled with the team, didn't I,
Yeah.
to start with? And of course Leo had got his car there and we went off on holiday
Right.
with Basil and
Yeah.
a couple of the others.
So,
So it was nice.
so do you remember much of the race beforehand? I mean, did you feel strong? You know, or
Well, after the first one, you know, I thought
Yeah.
that I got something there,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So as it happened, I just managed to get in the front,
yeah.
and that was it.
So, what happened in the 20,000 metres? You were 16th.
You
Well-
didn't speak about the 1,000.
Oh, we'll come to that in a minute.
Come to
It's
that.
20,000 metres.
Yeah,
I decided, because what happened before that,
yeah,
we're going to get Ricky May to do good,
right,
and we were all there to help Ricky May.
right,
You know, full stop.
yeah,
But he just hadn't got it,
right.
and
Wasn't strong enough.
No.
I don't know whether I had a fall actually.
Well, you finished 14th, 15th, and 16th, and it was you, Ricky, and Danny. Well, Ricky 14th,
Yeah,
Danny 15th, and you 16th.
yeah.
So, considering like what had gone on, like, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Oh, well, okay, so, let's talk about the 1,000 metres. Now, the 1,000 metres, we know Danny Kelly won the 1,000 metres. What was the build up to that like? Because it was a knockout, wasn't it? So,
It was a two-man knockout.
Yeah.
1,000 metres.
Yeah,
Best of 3 races.
in the final.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, when you come up to the semi-finals,
yeah,
there were 2 Italians and 2 British,
yeah,
and the Italians wanted us to skate each other, me and Danny
Yeah.
to skate,
Yeah.
and the 2 Italians to skate,
Yeah.
so they would get one in the final.
final. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Henry Crystal said no, he wasn't having it.
Right.
He wanted 1-on-1,
Oh, right. Okay.
and I think I was first out. I don't know who I beat. I beat the Italian,
Yeah,
and Danny beat his Italian.
yeah. Guardili.
And funny enough, the night before, I'd done all Danny's skates for him,
Yeah,
because he was on Cop and Cone,
yeah, yeah,
and I put him on ball races,
yeah.
because the ball races were a lot better.
Right.
And when it come to the final, I said to Danny, and it was my choice,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it wasn't the manager's choice,
Yeah.
it was my choice.
yeah,
I got my title,
yeah,
and I said, Danny, well, you can have it.
yeah.
And the first round, they said that I wasn't trying.
Oh, in the best of 3.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
right,
said
yeah,
I wasn't
yeah,
trying.
yeah.
So they said, no race,
Oh, right.
no race.
Yeah,
The first round,
yeah,
so we had to go again twice.
Yeah.
So I had to make a good effort, boy.
yeah, yeah,
When we come out of this bottom bend,
yeah,
I dropped right back,
yeah,
then let him go,
yeah,
and then I chased him, you know,
yeah.
and I've done the same in the next round.
Right.
And I don't think he ever appreciated, actually.
Oh, Danny.
No,
Well,
because about 3 weeks later, it was a half-mile British Championship
yeah,
in Birmingham,
yeah,
and he got the start,
yeah,
and it's only 5 laps,
yeah,
and I say I was a better sprinter than Danny,
yeah.
and I went to pass him, and more or less bumped him. He turned around and said, "Your mum and dad ought to have got married," but he didn't say that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He gave me the right word,
Yeah,
but that's what he meant.
yeah, yeah,
That's
Yeah.
what he called me.
yeah.
And actually, that's the second time he's done that. Actually, he called me that. Because one trials, and actually that was when we were going for Nantes. we were at the Rice Slip. It was American Air Force Base.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was two big long straights. And in the trials, Henry Crystal says that I do a lap a piece and drop to the back. Lap a piece, drop to the back. And Danny was in front of me, right? So as he dropped to the back, I went like that, and he couldn't get on the back. And all I could hear was
Chatter.
B, 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 B.
Right. So what was it? So was you good friends, you and Kelly, or was you rivals, or what? You know, you were saying that. You know,
Well,
how would you describe your relationship with Danny?
Don't think we were actually friends, but we weren't enemies,
Yeah.
you know. But
You didn't socialise.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Really, didn't socialise with him much at all.
And
Yeah.
yes, at some stage I remember he joined our club.
Yeah. He says, yeah.
But,
I didn't know he'd done that.
It
Yeah.
wasn't for very long,
Yeah.
perhaps a season.
Yeah.
I can't remember now.
So Danny Kelly won the 1,000 metres. I know that I know the story behind the 1,000 metres, and I know Danny once told me many years ago. He said that although it's generally known that you gave in the final, and even Les Woodley, when I phoned him a couple of weeks ago, we talked about it, and he says. I says, they say that. I said they say that Leo gave Danny the final, and Les says he did. So he said he did. He did give him the final. I said, yeah, but to reach the final for Danny was an achievement in itself anyway. You've got to go through all them rounds to get there.
Yeah, but if you have a look at his other ones, the racing,
Yeah,
it was like 15,
yeah,
16.
he was not. That's right. Yeah.
He didn't get anything at all.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story.
Ricky May went mad at me.
Right, well, I'll tell you a funny story. Is that when I saw Danny a couple of weeks back, I pointed that out to him. I says, your results, I said, in 63, I says, you finished 15th, 17th and 15th. I said, and come the 1,000 metres, I says, you won it. I says, what happened? He said, I was saving myself. Which I thought was really funny. I mean, he laughed, he said it tongue in cheek, but I thought it was quite funny. It made me laugh anyway. So,
well, as I say, Danny was a very strong skater.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a sprinter.
No, he's
He used to cycle everywhere.
Yeah,
When he won, after he got the worlds and the jumper, he used to wear it
oh, right.
all round the town.
Yeah.
When you see him cycling
With his jumper on.
with his jumper
I
on.
think he once told me that Carol washed it and all the colours ran.
Oh dear.
so I don't know what happened to it. So, but I don't know where
Did you hear the story about Leo when he won the 5,000 previously and he was declassified? What
Yeah.
was it the 5,000? Did you know that all the skaters from his club,
Yeah.
Leo's club, got together
Yeah.
and had a jumper match, and Chloe was there as well,
Right.
involved in it.
Yeah.
They had a jumper made
Yeah.
and a medal.
Yeah.
And one Sunday morning, all the skaters involved turned up at the rink, and
Right.
Leo didn't know about it, and they got the rostrum out and made him stand on the rostrum and presented him with this jumper and the trophy.
Right.
But also the New Zealand Federation,
Yeah.
because of the help Leo had done.
Yeah.
Where is it? Where's it?
It's up there.
Yeah.
I'll show him in a bit.
A
Yeah.
Kiwi.
Right.
And had a little plaque
Right.
about the 5,000 metres that he'd been declassified
Declassified
from.
him.
I'll show you it in a bit.
Yeah, we'll have a look. Yeah. Okay.
So it was all sort of,
Yeah.
everybody
People
believed
knew.
that
Yeah.
he shouldn't have
Yeah.
been declassified. So,
Yeah. Interesting points.
mm.
So, what happened with the? How did the Midland Club come about from Birmingham? What was the split there? How did that happen, or
the
why?
split, there wasn't really a
Well,
split.
yeah, but you know what I mean. Is that another
Um,
club formed? What happened there then?
Well, the management decided that they didn't want the powder.
Yeah, but so we were saying about the Midland Club and how that came about, and the powder, and you were talking about
Oh
powder.
yeah, the powder, and he used it as an excuse to chuck us out of the rink.
Who was that? Sorry.
It wasn't Con Davis, was it? Jefferson.
Right. Oh,
And
out
then
of the embassy
out of
rink,
the
you mean?
embassy, yeah.
Right.
The
Okay.
speed section.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we couldn't do anything about it.
Right.
We just had to leave the. We went to the public sessions,
Yeah.
but we weren't allowed to have any training there at all. We used to travel over to Wolverhampton
Right.
or anywhere else that we could get training.
Right.
But what was the name of the manager? Not Jefferson. Oh, I can't
No,
Yeah,
the
but-
assistant manager was
yeah.
Gumley.
So,
Yeah.
but they threw you out the rink because of the powder. So this would have been what, about the late 50s, 1960s, something like that.
About 53, I think.
Oh, really? As early as
Because
that, yeah.
Pat Kirkham and I got picked for the team in
Yeah.
54,
Yeah.
and we had got nowhere to train.
Right. Okay. So what did you do in those years then? With did you get back into the rink or what? What
Oh
happened?
yes, we got back. Con Davis became the manager,
Ah.
or he came. I
Yeah.
think he was the owner,
Mm.
and we got the dance side.
Mm.
This was the advantage of being dance and speed. We got the dance managed to get us back in,
Right.
and we got our training facilities. But in the meantime,
Yeah.
in that period of 54, 55,
Yeah.
the Midland Club sprang up
And so where did that come from?
just from skaters on the rink.
Just other skaters. They just said we're going
Yeah.
to start
They,
another
yeah,
club.
they didn't, as far as I remember or I know, I don't think any of them were from our club.
Right.
Not at the very beginning.
No, you got Tony Locke and Jimmy Morris.
Jimmy Morris
Right.
and Norman Eccles.
Yeah.
They were the three that
They were
really
the
started
founder
Right.
members.
Standard
the
it up.
founder members
Right.
of the Midland Club, and that was in 1955.
Okay.
And there's a couple of photographs there somewhere
Yeah, we've seen
that
that. Yeah. Yeah.
you
yeah,
see all
club.
the skaters.
Yeah.
And the only person I think who was, it was a lady or a girl, can't remember her name now, but she was only in for a short time.
Right.
She was a friend of Bob Woodley's,
Right.
then of course when we got back in,
Yeah.
we had to give way with some of the training sessions.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And it became the Midland and
The Birmingham. Club.
Birmingham.
So what prompted the likes of Les to leave Birmingham and go to Midland?
It was Barbara, I believe.
Right.
I'm not sure,
Okay.
but and she only stayed. They only stayed in our club
Mm.
because of the ladies' relay, and we were down as a cert to win.
Right.
This is what I was told. I
Yeah.
don't know how
Yeah.
true it is, but so on the night that we raced and won,
Yeah.
I think we won. Bob got her medal, and then Les packed up from our club.
Right.
He didn't pack up skating, but they both joined the
Yeah. The Midland.
Midland Club.
Okay.
And a little while, Graham Stead was the first one.
Right. To
And
leave.
when
yeah.
he was asked afterwards why because he was to defend his 5-mile championship,
Right.
he said that, I believe he was purported to have said that he didn't like the way the Woodleys were carrying on,
Ah,
the way, or Les in
Yeah.
particular, sort of, I think he said he was commandeering, if that's the right word,
mm.
the training sessions
Right.
and things like that,
Mhm.
doing what he wanted.
Right.
But whether it was true, I don't know. But we lost Graham
Ah, okay.
when he joined the Midland.
Midland.
And then Les and Barb went, and later on, Leon.
Leon. Yeah.
Leon, good
That's
child.
right. Yeah. he did,
Yes. But I believe with Leon it was because everything had to go through the committee.
Yeah. Mhm.
And with Leon, he wanted to attempt some records,
Mm.
and he put his own application in,
Mm.
and he wanted the floor painted,
Oh,
the track line, because this track that we skated on for the records
Mhm.
was narrow, and it had got to be painted for world record. I don't really know
Yeah.
the details,
yeah,
but he couldn't get any help from the Birmingham club.
right.
But whether that's true, I don't know.
I know him and John Toy had a falling out. I don't know what about.
No.
I don't know, but I know for years and years they never spoke.
Oh.
Yeah, for a long time, but I don't know. So, you know, I know he was quite a strong-willed character, Leon. You know.
He was funny boy, he was.
Yeah, yeah,
Very funny boy.
yeah, it was funny. But, so, anyway, back to you guys. So, where are we up to? 65, Syracuse. You didn't get a Syracuse in
No.
65, and you say that was one of the ones that you know,
I
you
would have liked
regret.
to, because it was
Yeah.
a track and it was banked, and
Yeah,
when I skated at Venice previously in '62
yeah,
with an injured leg,
yeah,
I still managed to get quite close to the finish.
yeah. So it'd have been nice for you to have done that.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, 66 was the first time the World Championships went outside of Europe. They went to Argentina, and we didn't send a team
No,
to Argentina. I don't think many people actually went to Argentina. But then 67, we're moving on a bit now. You make a return to the team, and this time it's the very first ever European Championships. The first time it's been just the Europeans without being a World Championships in Insel, and you make the team again, and you get a silver medal.
It was my track because I believe that Folly was skating in the training. This was
Yeah,
Folly was skating round in the training, and I just went with him.
really.
And I was told afterwards that they couldn't believe that I was skating the track so well.
Yeah, because Folly got a medal there as well. Yeah.
Yes.
So
But
so
it was Leicester, you see, it was training at the exhibition hall at Leicester.
right. Okay.
That's what sort of helped, because it was such a big track.
I've raced on Insel, and I know what you mean, because I like Insel.
Yeah.
It was a good track for me, Insel. Yeah. I think it's been good for a number of the Brits, over the years.
Yes.
But so that was your return to form, if you like, and return. Yeah, so you come back into the team in '67, and like straight away you're a silver medalist. In actual fact, Bill Sharman got a silver for the men, but you get a silver for the women. So
Silver Bill.
silver Bill, silver Bill.
I beat Chloe in that.
I know. Well, that must have been
That
quite a
was
shock,
quite-
really, because that was her event, really.
Yeah.
In actual fact, she set a British record on Insel. For 500 metres, which still stands to this day.
Yes, well, that was after that
Yeah.
championship.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you go to the Worlds, which is just for women in Barcelona. Did you go, Leo, or did you stop at home?
I stopped it down.
Did you? You let the women go and do it, did you? Just
Yeah.
It was just the three of us and Miriam Cooper.
it was. That's right. And
She
did
was-
by grave.
She was a judge,
Yeah.
but Miriam was the team manager.
Yeah. And again, another medal.
Mm.
So, and
Yes.
that's.
And I was ill up there, and Annalise Carrada.
Karate. Yeah.
She gave me an injection in my back
Oh, right. Okay.
because I was in so much trouble.
Right.
But
Oh,
what was in it, I don't know.
Ah,
I didn't
well,
know whether or not.
seemed to work.
Yes.
So, and what about you, Leo? Because 67, but going back to Insel, you wasn't in the team. You'd got the likes of Folly, Ron Hawkes, Bill Sharman, Blake.
Yes.
What happened there then?
Ernie Matthews.
Right.
Now, he was the manager. And the trials were on this sort of school playground car park. And like Mickey McGoffertail
Yeah.
and me,
Yeah.
we were speed skaters.
Right.
And when we got down to the track, it was...
Right.
And I said to Ernie Matthews, I said, what are we doing down here? I said, we're skating at Insel. He said, I've been to Insel. He said, this is exactly the same as track as Insel.
Right.
And I tell you,
Yeah.
you speak
Insel's-
to
yeah.
Mickey McGough again,
Yeah.
it was just like this.
Yeah. Right.
We were speed skaters,
Yeah.
not hill climbers,
Yeah.
and we didn't make the team.
Really. Oh, and Mick didn't either. No.
Mickey didn't make the team
No.
Yeah.
And that was 60. That'd be 67.
because
yeah,
he
so,
couldn't.
yeah.
It was that rough.
Yeah.
They couldn't skate it.
Right.
But Pat and I won. Pat Barnett and I won the relay.
Did you? You wonder? Oh, actually, what's it in Insel?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
No, not.
Oh, in Barcelona rather.
The Barcelona, the indoor.
Yeah,
track.
yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. So, and there were no worlds for men in '67
No.
then.
No.
So, but then, okay, so '68, we go to Vicenza. Your last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But somebody said, I don't know, that you was injured or you had a bad leg or you'd gone well in the trials but then struggled in the championships.
When the trials come, John, every time they had any trials,
Yeah.
I was automatically first choice
Yeah.
because I practically won everything in the trials.
Yeah.
No matter where it was,
Yeah.
I was either first or second in all the trials.
Yeah.
But I decided, and I spoke to Henry Crystal about it. I don't think I was injured. I spoke to Henry Crystal. I said, I'm not skating that well because I was down to skate. I said, let Bill Sharman's go.
Yeah.
And Bill Sharman's skating instead of me.
Right,
But
okay.
you did have an injury. You had a groin injury.
Yeah, but it wasn't that bad.
Because when he
Right.
said he was going to talk to
Yeah.
Henry about it,
Mm.
I was disappointed, you know, and when I knew that he
And
had
I thought
an
Bill
injury.
Sharman would skate better than I would.
Yeah.
So I let Bill Sharman's go my place.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was Vicenza.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was your last one, and the next year was Argentina in '69.
I was too old.
As I was going to say.
They said he was too old.
Oh, they said you were too old. Right.
I've got a letter.
Right.
I've got a letter
Yeah.
say I'm too old.
And that's what they
Thanking him
said.
for all his help.
I was 37,
Yeah.
and you asked John,
Yeah.
you're John,
Yeah.
we were training at the factory centre,
Kings Norton.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he couldn't live with me.
Yeah.
You asked him,
Yeah.
he actually couldn't live with me. And when we finished training, though we were in opposite clubs, you know, we were just training together.
Yeah.
When we finished training, he said, Leo, he said, I've got to tell you, he said, they're holding the trials in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And he said, you're not included.
Who says this?
Your
Your
dad.
John.
Oh, he knew that, did he?
He went.
Yes.
Evidently, Chloe had come up. This is what we were told.
Yeah.
That Chloe had come up to Birmingham with and picked John up or met your dad.
Right.
And they went to inspect Cosford and to try it out.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's right. They did skate
Yeah,
at Cosford.
yeah.
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 So,
And we didn't know anything at all about it.
so how did he find out that you weren't invited? How did?
John,
Don't know.
I don't know.
Don't know.
But he said that he told you that he
John
was the one who
told
told you.
me, he said,
You're not
they're
invited.
holding the trials at Telford, I think it was. He said, and you're not invited. So,
Was it Cosford?
Cosford,
Cosford,
Cosford, yeah,
yeah.
the bank track, the
So-
athletics track,
Yeah.
so we wrote to the NSA,
yeah,
and I got a letter come back
yeah.
and saying that you're too old. That's with the
They
words.
thanked him for all the work that he'd done because after he won his worlds
Yeah.
at Nantes,
Yeah,
for the next few years, or the next, I can't remember what, that was, what date was, what year was that?
63, Nantes,
63.
yeah,
To up to Cosford,
Yeah.
69.
Yeah,
so
6
those
years, yeah.
years in between,
yeah.
Henry was more or less putting Leo in charge of some of the training
Right,
for
okay.
the, for the trials and that.
Well, 69 was, Henry had stepped aside, hadn't he, and it was Bobby Alford who took the team to
Yeah,
Argentina.
Yeah. So
And-
maybe he got done as well. Not done, but
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
And after I got the letter,
Mm.
the next championships was the 5 mile at Leeds.
Yeah, the Leeds Olympic, yeah.
And I went mad, didn't I?
Uh,
From the gun in
Yeah.
the heats,
yeah.
I went mad.
Mm.
At the front, bang, 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 bang. And I'd done the fastest mile,
Mm.
most number of laps,
Mm.
heat winners medal.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it was your dad or Mickey McGough that I lapped.
Right. I see. This would have been 69, yeah? It'd have been 69.
Then I lapped.
Yeah.
And when it come to the final, I
Yeah.
done exactly the same again.
Right.
I went straight to the front and went mad.
Right.
And
1970. Yeah.
about 5 laps to go, McGough come past me. The other pallid boy, the young one,
Tommy Bartlett.
Tommy Bartlett,
Yeah.
come past me.
Yeah.
Then
My dad actually won that race, as it happened. The Leeds Olympic, the 5 mile.
no,
Leeds Olympic, my dad, 1970, my dad won it.
no, McGough won it.
That was at the Palace, he won in 69, McGough. The year before.
McGough won
69. Yeah. Yeah.
McGough won it,
Yeah. That would have been 69 at the Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
and I went mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I just went bang, 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 bang,
Right.
bang, because I intended
Yeah.
to throw the trophy back at them and
Yeah.
retire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think you should have gone to Argentina?
I think I should have been in the trials.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Regardless-
Okay. They did let you go to
regardless
the
of
trials.
what
Whether he
happened.
was selected.
Yeah, but they wouldn't
you know.
even invite you to
I
the
think I
trials.
should have
Yeah.
gone to the
Yeah.
trials.
It was
Right.
so underhand.
Mm.
Well, it
And
seemed
even
to
if
them.
they said then at the trials,
Yeah.
you know, that, oh, you're not selected, you know, full stop.
Yeah.
But
You
I think I should have gone to
accepted.
the trials.
You accept it if they tell, if
Yeah,
they
if
let
you-
you
at least
have
you
a
have a
go.
try, yeah.
with his record,
Yeah.
you know.
So, did you carry on skating after that?
Yes.
So did you try
I
again
won
for
some more.
the team? I mean, like the next year there was no championships in 70, so you know there's no worlds or Euros, but the next one was the Europeans in 71 in Wetteren.
On the bottom track,
Yeah.
on the lower market.
The lower
place. There were
marketplace.
two. There
Yeah.
was the top one,
Yeah.
top market, and
Yeah.
the bottom market.
This is, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know that they had some championships there because
Yeah.
Donna Nash went.
Yep. Yes. She may well have done actually. Yeah.
In 1965, I think.
Yeah. Donna Nash did. Yeah. That's right.
She
Yeah.
just went the once.
Yeah. That's right. She did 65 Wetteren. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
I won a couple more championships after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I just packed in.
Did you?
Yeah.
So you just
But also in the 70s, we didn't have any training facilities.
No, that was the other thing. I think there was a year when there was no British Championships, 72.
It was when the Agora Club.
Right.
I don't know who formed that, but it was sort of skaters from every club
Right. Yeah.
belonged to it as well as being in their own club.
Oh right, I
I
didn't know.
think so.
Right.
But I'm not 100%
I
sure.
didn't know.
I was I packed up and it was Di Davis coaxed me into going on the committee.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went on the committee.
Okay.
But all
that
the
must have been
meetings,
that must have been the early 70s. Yeah.
Mm.
yes,
Yeah.
all the meetings were in London.
Right.
And like for instance,
Yeah.
it's all out of my own pocket.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Everything was amateur.
Yeah.
We
that's
never
right.
had grants.
That's right.
We never had
Yeah.
sponsorship at all.
So 69. So 71 was Wetteren, and as you say, the lower market. There was Pat Barnett, Chloe, Kathy Smith, and Peggy Davis went. This is
That was the higher.
that was the higher
that
one.
was
Was
the
okay.
higher
At the market, right? The
I
higher
think
market
so.
place. No championship 72. 73 is Grenoble
Oh, track again.
track again,
Mm.
like Insel, I suppose.
Mm.
Yeah, and
Well, I'd been training
yeah.
on by myself with just Leo.
How old would you have been in 73 then?
Uh,
For
1932 I was born.
So 41.
In my 40s.
41. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
this track at Salford, you
Yeah,
know Salford
I
Bridge.
do, and yeah, and the big cycle track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got permission to train there,
Ah, okay.
and I trained there,
Mm.
and I was skating the opposite way round
Right. Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
And I was having physiotherapy, private physiotherapy, because of my leg,
Yeah.
having a lot of trouble with my leg and my back.
Right.
And I had 1970, I had a leg operation on my knee.
Oh right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was out of it. And they'd invited me to the trials, and no, they hadn't. They didn't invite me to the trials after I'd had the leg operation, and I said that Dennis Cousins, I think, was the team manager,
Right.
and I asked him whether or not he would talk to the committee about it. And anyway, they, I can't remember now what happened, or that might have been earlier,
Right.
an earlier year.
Yeah.
But it was 1970 that I had my leg operation.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But and they said that was it because they chose Peggy
Right.
instead of me.
Yeah, because she went in '73 to Grenoble as well, but '71
but
she went to the European.
It
That's
was
the one.
71. That's
Right.
the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Bobby Alford was the team manager.
Yeah.
there, but
So in '73,
yeah.
it was a track, and I can't remember the trials, but I know that I was selected and I went,
Yeah.
and I got a third.
You did, yeah, in the
But
5,000
it was
meters.
through training at
Yeah.
Salford.
Yeah. We got, I think, John Mullane. That was his first championship,
Yeah,
'73,
yeah.
and
Well-
Gerard Bissett was in the team
Yeah.
as well.
Well, there were a lot of injuries with
Yeah.
the men, and Chloe said she was injured,
Right.
and they were supposed to do the follow-on tour
Right.
of skaters
Yeah.
from the championships.
Yeah.
And it was me and John Mullane
Yeah.
and Bob Halford. We were the only
Only
three
ones who.
that,
Oh, right.
that went,
Who did it?
that were left to go. Yeah,
So what was it like? I
Um,
mean, 1973. You was in the team in '53. So 20 years later, and here you are, still getting a bronze medal in the European Championships. How did that feel?
Good,
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, can you remember it? Can you remember
Yes.
that? That race, thinking.
yes. But
you know.
the only thing was, I've got no photographs of it.
Oh, right.
No photographs.
No, I
at
don't
all.
know of any photos. I've got the
No.
programme from it,
Mm,
and I've got all the writing on it and where everybody came.
yeah.
But so did you go the following year into
74.
Yeah.
Yes, that was to
San Benedetto?
yes, San Benedetto.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So you went
But
to.
it was the road.
It was, yeah,
Yeah.
very much the road,
Yeah.
yeah. So okay.
Didn't do very well, I don't think. Well, I certainly didn't get on the roster.
I don't know any results from San
Oh.
Benedetto.
I don't know whether I've got them somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Might have.
So yeah, and I think really was that. So was you starting really into your career to because I say come to the end of your career, but I mean you've been in the sport a long time by then, you know, and been international for a hell of a long time. So when it next materialised for you and the team was 1979, is that right? Or did you go way before? Because
Well, in '75, I wasn't selected.
yeah, which was
They only
that was
had
Argentina. Yeah.
Peggy and
That's right. Yeah.
Peggy and Chloe
Yeah.
were the
That's
only
it.
two.
Oh, and, yeah, and that's for the Italy. Yeah.
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 I
think
so
that
75.
77 was then. There was no
76.
76. 77 was Finale Amelia and Salerno.
No, I watched that.
Oh right,
We
okay.
went and watched that.
Yeah.
Uh,
78 was again the Worlds were in Argentina
no.
and La
They
Roche.
didn't send any women.
No.
For a number of years, they didn't
That's
send
right.
any women. Well, from about 75, I don't think.
That's right.
That was it. 75 was
75.
the last time they
Yeah.
sent the women. And then 79,
79. Yeah.
Yeah.
That must have been your last time out in
Yeah.
a British shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the Europeans.
yes.
I seem to recall you having a bad knee at the
Oh,
Europeans.
I've had a bad
Yeah,
knee
how are
for
you?
years. Do you want to see it now?
No, I'm all right, thanks. Okay.
It's still bad.
I went to the Europeans in '79 as a kid,
Yes,
as a little boy.
We danced together.
I but the head
Do you
you
remember?
I do actually, yeah. At
A young
the
man
end,
in
yeah.
what's now? You were
Yes.
so kind.
I was 12.
Yes, something like that.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yes.
So was that? Did you retire after that, or?
No, because I was invited to the trials for 1980
Southampton.
in Southampton.
Yeah.
But Leo said to me, did I really think that I would, want to skate down there at Southampton?
Yeah.
And
Well, you'd have been 48 by then.
yeah,
As
so
well.
I said no, I don't want to skate in the
Yeah.
championships.
Yeah.
Southampton was more like a road.
Yeah. Well, it
than
was the road
than a track.
championships. Yeah.
Mm.
And you was the team manager there, Leo.
Yes, very so.
Was that the only time you was the team manager?
Yes.
With you and Cyril Cooper were
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny enough, last night I was looking through some old stuff. I read your report, the team manager's report
Oh.
from Southampton.
Mm.
Made interesting reading, actually. Yeah. So yeah.
I mean,
You got hold of some confidential.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
know what I mean.
Yeah.
There
I have
was-
my sources, obviously.
there was a lot of argument about it with Chloe and Pat
Right,
because Chloe was dropped
right,
and I got the blame for it all.
right.
But there's three of us picking the team.
There was you, Cyril. Who else?
Di Davis.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The three of us picking
Yeah.
the team.
Yeah,
And we decided that we'd take the two youngsters.
Downing.
No, three of them.
Oh, the women. Oh, yeah. Sue
Uh,
Carter
Yeah.
and Walton, wasn't it?
She had
Sharon
one,
Walton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharon Walton.
Sharon Walton. I remember.
You know, because they might do a better job, you know.
That's right. Chloe didn't. Kathy
She
Smith.
was furious.
And was it Lynn Coles, the other one? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
I know. I read your report. I know you wasn't too enamoured with some of the things Kathy did. I know you dropped Feetham from the relay.
Ah, that was another bit of an argument.
Yeah.
Fleetham wasn't a speed skater. He was only a plodder.
Right.
Because if ever the pace went up,
Yeah.
he was off the back.
Right.
I don't know if you know much about it.
No, they
But
like
quite often, if the speed went up,
Yeah.
he was off the back.
Right.
And I said to Mickey McGough, I dropped Mickey McGough out to the, I think it was 10,000 metres.
Yeah.
It was the last one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, I'd rather you skate in the relay,
Yeah.
have a rest and skate in the relay.
Yeah.
Because it's only the chance we got a medal, and we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
We got a third medal.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I dropped Fleetham because he wasn't a speed skater,
Yeah.
such as.
Yeah.
He was just another plodder.
Yeah.
All right. He won the 20,000 metres, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was only, no, that was the British Championships.
He did win a time trial as a British championships,
Yeah.
on Tatum
Yeah.
Park,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
but he was obviously a big guy, but he
Strong.
very strong, yeah,
Yeah, but I dropped him out to
Yeah.
put McGough in,
yeah,
you know, because McGough was the best speed skater.
yeah,
And John Downey,
yeah.
he won that relay for him, John Downey
the
did.
medal, yeah.
He come from nowhere to give him that third medal.
I believe he's had 3 heart attacks
Oh really?
at separate times.
Ah.
Don't know for sure.
No, no, I don't even know where he is.
John Downey could go from here to that door,
Yeah,
top speed,
yeah,
you know. He was one that couldn't do any work at the front,
yes, yeah.
but you wouldn't get rid of him.
No, I remember as a kid. I remember seeing him on Southampton, but I remember seeing him in the World Championships in 1980 in New Zealand. We went to New Zealand, and of course I was only 13 at the time. But I just remember picking up from the people around how frustrated they was with him as a skater. You know, in the worlds, you know, he would never get to the front. I think was pretty much what you're saying. He'd never see the
Well,
front.
I think he won either 9 British Championships,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, he won a few. Yeah.
And he cleared the board. The only time that he lost out was when Mulaney grabbed
Yeah.
hold of him
Right.
going over the finishing line.
Right.
And he still dragged him till he got seconds.
Mm.
And McGough won it.
Mm.
But Mulaney actually, that was a Portsmouth, wasn't it?
Don't know. I remember him dead heating.
He won everything else.
With Mickey McGough.
He
At
won
Southampton,
everything
yeah.
else.
Yeah,
Yes. But
Yeah.
the following year, John won.
yeah,
John Downey.
that's right. So,
Look.
how did that come about though? Because you had the McGraths and you had Downing. How did those kids come about with you guys? Because you were quite involved with those.
We went.
Albury.
We went over to a little sports centre at Albury,
Mm,
and it was so
Yeah,
tiny, so tiny.
yeah.
And we just picked it. We said that we would run sessions
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
and they just came to the training session. The management allowed us some time.
yeah.
A chappie called Ken Hughes, I think his daughter was an artistic skater,
Right.
and he ran a public session on this little rink. Well, it was a sports centre really,
Yeah.
and they said that we could. We had to pay, I think,
Right.
for it, but we just trained them there,
Right.
and then we started entering them.
I trained all of them,
Yeah.
and they won at least 60, 70 odd British championships.
Yeah, those, I know they yeah, I mean,
They
I
were
know
winning,
those
they were
guys as
winning
well.
everything.
Well,
We had little ones.
yeah, I remember
Up to
Medallist,
16
yeah.
years of age,
Well,
they were winning everything.
I remember that when the Birmingham club won the relay, there was, I think, Kevin McGrath, Jerry McGrath, Mark McGrath,
Yeah.
and John
Yeah.
Downing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Leo was in one of the teams.
Right. Oh, right. I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Yeah,
That.
15 years, they won it, 15 years I think. It's in some of my,
Yeah.
you know, my
Yeah.
papers.
So.
But Mark McGrath
Yeah.
was probably the best skater out of a lot of them.
I remember him being reserve in '79 for
Yeah.
Belgium. Then
Yeah.
he drew the little moustache.
Yeah.
But he was thick. He was
yeah.
thick.
Yeah.
But
there
he
were
could
about
skate.
He was a good skater.
12 children from that family.
Yeah, because there's a Gary
Yeah,
McGrath. I think
yeah.
Gary's a friend of mine on this Facebook.
Paul McGrath.
Yeah, I don't remember much
No.
more of them, but yeah.
But
Tony
there was,
McGrath.
Trying to think. Mark, that's what I was trying
Yeah.
to tell you. Mark had a brother called David,
Right.
and they were twins.
Oh, I didn't know.
And his brother died. He was a better skater than Mark,
Yeah.
but he didn't really like it.
Oh, right.
And he
Usually, yeah,
went
yeah.
into banking
Yeah.
and moved to London, I think it was. But he died of cancer
Oh,
when he was
Didn't know
young.
that. So what year did you do your last race then, Pat?
My last race was probably, I'm not sure, because I know when the dune must have been before Birmingham Wheels was built.
Yeah.
Uh,
83, 84,
yeah.
84.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't remember what the last race was, but it
Right.
was probably at Leicester,
Right. At the Granby Halls.
at the Granby, at
The old,
the
yeah.
exhibition
The
hall.
exhibition hall.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about yourself, Leo? When was your last race? Can you remember?
I think it must have been about Mecca.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think
But
so.
going back to Chloe and the championships,
Yeah.
the World Championships, or European,
Yeah.
at Southampton,
Yeah.
did you know that she appealed
No.
and
No.
she had all these solicitors or whatever they were
Right,
there,
no.
and Leo had to attend, and Di
Oh, really?
Davis and Bobby Halford, and it was like I don't know, a court really, but she didn't get her facts right, because when she was interviewed, she said that they said to her, had any other woman,
Yeah.
because her thing was that I believe that she was the only skater to get medals
Right.
in Worlds and European, and somebody mentioned me,
Mm.
and she said I think she got one medal, and I had 7 medals
Yeah.
altogether.
Altogether. Well, here's a bit of information that you probably didn't know this, right? You might know it, but I doubt it.
Go on then.
Right? Did you know, right, that exactly 50 years ago today you won the half mile at Brixton?
Half mile of Brixton.
Exactly 50 years ago today.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
50 years.
You won the half mile
56, yeah.
championship. Yeah,
I
in
know,
1961
And then
on
we
Brixton.
went off to New Zealand, didn't
Yeah,
we?
yeah. So there you
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
50 to the very day. There you go.
Very day.
To the very day.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
No. So there you go. I thought
Not,
I'd say that
Throw that.
snippets of information
Yes.
before we wrapped it up. So
yes.
so what now then? So we've done your skating careers, and you've been around. You've done the judging, which we've all been thankful for because the sport needs it. What do you think of the sport today?
I haven't seen it really for the
Yeah,
last couple of
I know.
years.
Very poor, very poor.
Very
Yeah.
poor.
English sport is very
Yeah.
poor. I think it's still going abroad,
Yeah.
worldwide, very good.
I
But
think
What do you think we need to do? What do you think we lack?
a social
would say
side. I think a social side
Mm.
to
I would say
an indoor rinks.
Mm.
yes, somewhere to skate where you can get the crowd in,
Yeah.
and you can build on that now.
And you
Yeah.
can take
I mean,
we took the McGraths and the
Mm.
Downings and other skaters from a tiny little, hall,
Yeah.
sports hall. And we had £9,000, did you know, from the Sports Council. They made a grant.
Right.
That was the one thing we got. And to build this outdoor track.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you just take, for instance, the wheels.
Yeah.
They can't have what are you going to do? Outdoor people like the crowd to get there.
Yeah.
That you can pick from there.
Yeah.
You know, the public sessions.
Yes.
If they had public sessions there,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't know it's there.
It's funny you say that. I tell you why it's funny you say it. I don't know if you remember this, but a few years back now, there was a guy who skated, a kid who skated for our club called Danny Cox, and
Yeah.
he was a young kid, and I just remember him skating at Birmingham Wheels, and you said to me, you watched him go around this bend, and you says, that kid's got it. If he wanted to be, he could be a world-class skater.
He packed up, didn't he?
And he packed up, yeah. Now that kid was a great kid. Now I hope he watches this, because last night I spoke to him on the phone.
Oh.
He's 22 years of age, and he desperately wants to come back.
Yep.
So, you know what I mean? But the point I was making was that Danny Cox, like you said, I saw him at a general session in a sports hall where they got a roller disco kind of thing, and they did a speed session.
John, can you stop, please, to come back?
Is he going to come back? Well, I don't know. He wants me to do a training program for him. But what I was saying, and you was making the point about we were talking about British skating and what's going wrong, and I said I found Danny at a rink, just like you were saying, like with the McGraths and stuff. I picked this kid out at a speed session at a rink, and I went up to him and says, "Listen, son, I think you're quite good. Do you fancy having a proper go at it?" And he said, "Well, I'll have a go." He was 12 at the time, and I says, he hadn't got a penny to rub together. I said, "I'll pay for your entry fees to the next race," which happened to be the indoor British Championships, and I think it was at Buckmore Park. It might have been down in Kent somewhere. We went
Chatham.
there, Chatham, and he got second in his first ever, and he got no comprehension of what he'd achieved, But I think you're right. I think the kids, come from the rinks. I think these days this is where the sport lacks.
Danny Cox.
Yes.
If I remember right, it was at Tayton Park, and I was judging. It was pouring with rain, and I got an umbrella, which the Queen gave me,
Very possibly.
and he wanted to borrow it.
Oh right.
And I think he was about actually.
Uh-huh.
And I said, no, you can't borrow that. He said, why not? I said, you can't borrow it. I'm not leaving that out of my hands.
He didn't understand
No,
That was
no.
a Tayton Park.
It could have been. Yeah, he's a cheeky young lad, but he's a
he
great lad.
wanted to borrow the umbrella, and I wouldn't let him have it.
Right. Well, like I said, yeah. Well, like I said, I think we're all, we're there now, and we've captured loads of information there about your skating careers and your thoughts on skating in general, and I think it's fantastic, and I think it's fantastic we keep this for forever, and I think there's a lot of people can learn a lot of things from you guys, so I suppose it's just for me to say thanks ever such a lot for giving me the opportunity to come here and talk to you two. To, as I says, superstars of skating. World medalist, world champion, British champions. And superstars in your own right. So Pat and Leo, thank you very much.
Thank you for taking the time and trouble.
You're more than welcome.